Good day YouTube, today we're going to talk about chapter 3 of Black Myth Wukong and how the lore and the story ties back to the original classic Journey to the West. In order to understand the story a little bit better, I'm going to be using the original arc within the classical lore, most poignantly the 1986 TV adaptation episode, sort of like a spine to understand the sequence of events. So in the original 1986 TV series, this is quite a memorable arc. Yellow Brow was a heavyweight antagonist because he had two very powerful magical weapons that caused a lot of grief and pain to the pilgrims. So when the pilgrims approached what is known as Xiao Xitian, the New West, and they found the little thunderclap temple, Xiao Lei Ying Shi. Most of them mistook Yellow Brow to be the actual Buddha whom he was trying to assume. Except for Wukong, who didn't buy into the bullshit. With his magical eyes, he could see through all the cloak and daggers. So Wukong was trying to persuade his master that this Yellow Brow is actually a Yao Guai, and Yellow Brow revealed himself and used the magical symbol, that same weapon that was used to entrap Ba Jie in the game, right? He used it on Wukong and took the monkey out of the picture right from the start. So the rest of the pilgrims, once they lost Wukong, they are basically nerfed lah. So they eventually got captured by the Yao Guais of Yellow Brow as well. And he was preparing himself to buffet on Tangshan. So Ba Jie and Sa Zeng managed to escape, but they could not free the monkey from the symbol because the magical instrument is so powerful that it sealed the monkey totally. So they went to approach the 28 constellations for help, and this is where you start to see more of these visitors coming in to help. And the 28 constellations are Taoist deities. The prominent character within the 28 constellations would be Kang Jing Star. Now in the TV adaptation, is portrayed by a guy, but in the game it's actually a girl. So Kang Jing Star used her horn to attempt to try to pry open the magical symbol, and the horn could penetrate the sleeve, but unfortunately there was no gap between the horn and the rest of the symbol, so Wukong couldn't escape. But the monkey, being the devious one that he is, right, thought of a method and drilled a hole within the horn of the dragon, and he hid within her horn, and as she pulled the horn out, he escaped. And so the rest of them attempted to take on Yellow Brow one more time, but he used his second weapon, which is the Man Seed Sack. I kid you not, that is the name, okay? The Ren Zong Dai. And it sucked all the 28 constellations as well as the pilgrims within the sack. Wukong escaped, and being the sole survivor, he decided to go and ask for help. So he approached this very powerful deity called the Zhen Wu, the Xuan Wu Di. So this guy is a heavyweight champion in the heavenly realms, okay? But for some political reason, right, Zhen Wu himself could not intervene. So he sent two of his generals to help, the turtle and the snake, both of whom also appeared in the game, right? So turtle and snake got absorbed into the sack. That was quick. So Wukong once again got to enlist help from yet another party, so he went to this little Prince Jang. He's actually the third prince from the kingdom of Sahali, that red kingdom that you would be familiar with in chapter 2. Little Prince is the most intelligent among his three brothers. I mean, that's not a very difficult feat if you saw the earlier two brothers, but he's also a devout Buddhist and he's the most powerful one. So the Prince Jang came to help, and he brought along his 4 captains who were also formidable warriors, but surprise surprise, all of them got absorbed into the sack yet again. So you could see why in the 1986 TV adaptation they decided to cut away round 2 and round 3 and straight away go to the ending, because it's kind of repetitive, right? So the 4 captains, Little Prince Chang, were of no help. Wukong eventually met up with Yellow Brow's actual master, which is the Dong Lai Fo Zu lah, Nile Fo lah. Let's just call him Nile Fo, okay? He's the Buddha of the East, who gave us the backstory that Yellow Brow is actually one of his acolytes that escaped, and he stole 2 of his most powerful instruments to come and wreak havoc in the mortal realms. So we see this recurring theme in Journey of the West, where powerful characters could not get their shit together and their underlings often escape and create havoc in the mortal realms, right? So what Nilafo did was to give Wukong a spell. Okay, this is actually a spellbind spell. The Jingzi was written on his paw, and he used that to entice and lure Yellow Brow into a watermelon field. And Yellow Brow wanted to eat the watermelon. Wukong transformed himself into the watermelon, and after being digested, he turned back into a monkey within the stomach of Yellow Brow and decided to wreak havoc there, gave him diarrhea, pancreatitis, etc, etc. Eventually, Yellow Brow was subdued by his master and the story came to an end. So how do we reach Black Myth Wukong, right? I think this is part of the main story which I'm still not aware of because I don't wish to be spoiled, but somehow Yellowbrow acquired the relic of Wukong. He escaped yet again, history repeated itself, and he stole the two magical instruments yet again, both the symbol as well as the man-seed sack, and this time with the help of the relic, he's more powerful than before. He re-established himself in the New West, and he decided to take revenge against all the accomplices that gave him grief in the first arc, in the original story. So you see that the General Snake was killed, General Turtle was sad, Kang Jing Star was corrupted and became one of his minions. He also dominated the 28 constellations as well as the 4 captains who became abominations and they are sub-bosses that you have to deal with. Little Prince Jang was imprisoned in Pagoda Realm where he was both deaf and blinded as a result of trying not to be corrupted by our dear Yellowbrow. Yellowbrow also enlisted 4 pupils whose names are actually parallels of the pilgrims themselves, alright? So eventually, as the Destined One, you defeated Yellowbrow yet again with the help of Spellbind, and within the context, the melons were a feature when you went to get the Spellbind after you fight the Green Cat Martialist. And so there are parallels between the original lore and the new story itself. Right. So what do you think of the progression of the story? I think a lot of how this story, the value and the credit of chapter 3 will actually lie in how it ties in with the eventual main story, the main vehicle of the plot of Black Myth Wukong, which I believe will be revealed in chapter 5 and 6. How the relics got dispersed, and I saw some spoilers that actually Nilefor will appear yet again in chapter 5 and 6, so I'm looking forward to unraveling the rest of the story. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for your time. Please do drop a like and subscribe or a comment below. I see you in the next one. Goodbye.